Good evening and welcome to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith. Great to welcome Nobby Solano back to the show. How are you, Nobby?
How are you, Steve? Nice to talk to you again.
And you?
No nice days, but well,
I've actually been to Dunston today, mate. And obviously you've played at Dunston for me in the Pavel Cup. It was our presentation day today, and we've had to do it on the pitch. So we couldn't have any fans there today. So it was just me, the committee, and the players. So we had to do it socially distanced. We had the chairman on the microphone, and we had the manager handing the trophies out on the pitch to the people. So it was, it was quite a weird situation, but at least we managed to do the presentation night anyway at Dunston. It went well.
Well done. Congratulations. Well, and unfortunately, the situation for everyone the same. But my friend, more important is be safe. We have a life, so we have to continue it. We need to looking forward, be positive.
Yes, exactly, mate. Exactly. We've got to be. So, Nobby, you've heard the news like everybody else, and I know that most of us are sick of talking about it. We broke the news on our episode of NUFC Matters the other night as well, which wasn't pleasant. The takeover, at present is off. With no light at the end of the tunnel for it being resurrected. What's your view on it, Nobby?
Well, like everybody else, it's a little bit shame because we wish all the time for the club the best. We wish to the club has ambition. We was talking before about that. So we when we saw the opportunity, new owner with the ambitions to go forward with the club, everybody was trying to happen. And unfortunately, like you say, probably you know more than me for sure what's happened over there. But it's really, really sad because it's, like I'm saying, we always wish the best for the club, to looking forward, to be competitive, to the club get back into that top 4, top 6, to try to reach to go back into international tournaments. Like I'm saying, really, really, and unfortunately, a shame for everyone, really sad. But we fingers crossed now, Mr. Mike Ashley, maybe his mind will change or will go more ambition with Steve Bruce now on charge. Will be tough. It's tough for everyone because it's the period with the pandemic affecting everyone, in football and any life of people. So we hope so. They have a good plan, and we're looking forward for the next season, how the team will do it. That will be very interesting.
Yes, it will be, mate. It will be. We're not going to concentrate too much on the takeover. It just gets everybody on a downer. So please, guys, give it a like, press the thumb, and give it a share on YouTube, please. Try and get as many people on this podcast as possible, and we'll take your questions. Any questions that you've got for Nobby, that's what we're going to do tonight. So Peter Robson, he's straight in with a question. He says, "Evening, Nobby. What's your fondest memory of the late, great Gary Speed?"
Oh, Gary always, like I said before, he was a great leader. He was a great man, great family man, great person. I always enjoy with him in the set pieces. Set pieces always Gary said to me, "Hey, looking for me," because he is unbelievable how the way he jumped. He has a very, very great head at, great technique to head the ball. So I think Gary always in the set pieces, I'm always looking for him because he was very good in the air.
Yeah, he was a top finisher with his head, wasn't he? Just those late runs into the box and, the bullet headers, he was fantastic. And with you putting the balls in, Nobby, it must have been it was a dream partnership. I mean, if you missed Allan, you would always hit Gary.
Well, always we have a good targets. Always have many options. If hit Nikos Davisa, maybe I hit Alan Shearer, or if Alan miss Alan, it's Gary there. So we have a very good, in the set pieces, we have a very good guys in the air.
Yeah, great stuff. Sean Foreman, good evening, mate. He says, "Hello, Nobby. Haven't signed from Newcastle the first time round from Boca Juniors. What were your expectations of Newcastle?" So what were your expectations when you arrived at the club? It was funny because at the presentation today, we went back into the clubhouse and I was sitting with a couple of guys, Mark and a few other Newcastle fans, some of the older fans, and we were all talking about your debut, in the reserve game at St James's Park when I think it was something over 5,500 people turned up. It was incredible.
Well, to be honest, and before I moved to Newcastle, I was hearing about the team, the club, the Premier League was start to become more popular in South America, because Tino Asprilla was the first guy when he arrived in the '96, I think, played for Newcastle, and great team with Kevin Keegan on charge. They have a fantastic season. So Newcastle started to become very, very famous. So when I arrived in Newcastle, of course, for me it was a dream, first of all, to play in the Premier League. And after, when I was in the league, I remember I was quite glad and very proud to be part of the progress of the Premier League. You know, start to become famous and famous. So I'm enjoying so much. I like the first day when I arrived into the city. I like the club. I like the people. I can't believe how much passion around the city. So everything around the football. So I was so pleased, so pleased, so proud to move to one of the biggest clubs in England. So I have a very great experience. And unfortunately, shame couldn't not give me any trophy, because the time we spent in there, I believe the fans deserve it.
Jason Carter asks, Nobby, you and Aaron Hughes down the wing were one of the best partnerships I've ever seen for Newcastle. Do you keep in touch with Aaron?
Well, I haven't spoke to him for a while. I know he was playing football. He retired only 2 years ago. I'm not sure about that. But he was a great lad, fantastic. I really, really enjoy. Yes, of course. Before the match, we always talking. I say, Aaron, remember when I get the ball, you pass overlap to myself. Don't worry, just go forward. I will try to find you. So we have a great communication. Aaron Hughes, a great top professional man.
Yeah, he was. And I found that incredible, again, you know, that he retired. I think he was age 40. So, I mean, he had a hell of a career, didn't he? He was probably one of the most underrated players, Nobby, as well. You know, there's, you know, some players who just are in the team, they do their job, but they don't get the same kind of praise as some of the, you know, maybe the Alan Shearers of this world, for example.
Well, sometimes happen. You know, he's a perfect player when I'm now thinking as a coach. You know, he's the guy, he can play center back, can play right back, can play left back. So we always call them, him, Andy O'Brien, and Andy Griffin, we call they are students, not football players. Because they are too good, too nice, very professional. You know what I mean? The guys not speaking much, they're very quiet. So we in the team, you know, we Kieron Dyer, Bellamy, Titus, myself, we are a little bit bad boys next to them. That's why they look so quiet. But I believe Bobby Robson or any manager on charge will love Aaron Hughes because he's professional. And like I say, he can play any position in the back. You know, he do a great job. He's great professional. That's why he reached until 40.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Geordie, he says, hi, Steve. Hi, Nobby. Question to both of you. What is your favourite FA Cup final moment? Of course, it's FA Cup final day here in England. A bit of a strange one. Arsenal and Chelsea, of course, playing at Wembley, but in front of no supporters. So first time that has ever happened for an FA Cup final. But what's your I mean, I presume back in Peru, even as a child, Nobby, you probably used to sit and watch the FA Cup and dream one day of potentially playing in the competition.
Well, to be honest, like I said before, the Premier League show to here in South America from the 96, 97, you know, start to become to very, I didn't, to be honest, until you arrive in the city, I never realized how very important is that competition for the club, for the fans, for everyone. I was very lucky to play my first season. I had to reach to play like my first final in the FA Cup. The guys, the boys, Alan Shearer, Shea Given, Gary Speed, Stevie Harper, they told me how important is the competition for the fans, for everyone. So it's very popular. That's why I was very, very proud. And unfortunately, we couldn't win that competition. We came second. We played against one of the best Manchester United time era of the team. They has a great, fantastic team. So, and unfortunately, we couldn't win. But I'm enjoying very much. I believe it's one of the best competitions in the Premier in the English league.
So I suppose the greatest FA Cup final moment for you was actually playing, just playing in it. For me, my greatest FA Cup, my greatest FA Cup final moment. Well, I've got two FA Cup moments. My favourite FA Cup moment of all time was Paul Gascoigne's goal for Newcastle at St James's Park, and it was against Crystal Palace, and it was a 1-0 win. Gaza scored at the Gallagher end, and it was a beautiful goal, and it was one of those balls that just stuck in the stanchion. So when he scored it, the ball actually stuck in the goal. But it's a fantastic goal. You'll probably be able to see it on Mark Corby's YouTube channel, which is NUFC 1980 to 1994. But my favourite FA Cup final moment, of course, isn't a Newcastle one. You'll be surprised to hear, because we don't tend to do very well in FA Cup finals. The one that I remember the most is Ricky Valia's goal for Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City, and it was a brilliant goal. It sticks in your mind, and he dribbled past all of those people and then just slotted it past the goalkeeper, and it's a fantastic goal, and it's one of those moments. But as an Englishman and a Geordie, to grow up with the FA Cup, it's a fantastic competition, and it's one of those things that you always used to get up in the morning, as early as you could. The coverage used to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, goes all the way through till 3 when the traditional kick-off time. And it was fantastic, great. It's just a competition that is very special to people. And even now, as a Dunstan man, somebody who obviously is involved in non-league football, we had a recent run in the FA Cup, which probably meant more, it has to be said, than some of the Newcastle Cup runs that I've seen, because we have to play a lot of preliminary games in the non-league, and I think we played something like 8 games in the FA Cup, and we then got drawn for a chance to get into the first round proper against Gateshead, which was a huge game for us, local rivals, and a team which was, at the time two divisions higher than us. And we got them at home, and I think for our average attendance at Dunstan is usually 400 people. We had a crowd there on the day of 2,500, and we had BBC TV there to cover it, and that was only 2 years ago. So that was fantastic to be part of that as a non-league, somebody involved in the non-league. And we lost the game, but it was live on BBC. We got some good money from the cup run, and fantastic. So great question, Geordie, especially with today being the FA Cup, Arsenal versus Chelsea, which of course kicks off at around about 5:30, I think. Jason Carter will come to you next. He says, yesterday was the memory of the death of Sir Bobby Robson. What's your favourite memory of Bobby Robson, Nobby?
Well, I think everybody loved him, enjoyed so much when he arrived in the club in 1999. So I think it changed for all of us. I mean, all the players in that time. We didn't have a great period, because, especially for myself, because was Kenny Dalglish signing myself. It was only 2-3 months and get sacked. And after arrived Ruud Gullit, in the period he tried to organize the team. We didn't have a great results, and unfortunate, but Bobby arrived in the right time for everyone. I think it was the great time for the team, for the players. We really love him. We're looking forward to play for him, because we knew his profile. He was a more important manager in the Premier League and in the English league. His reputation. I think Bobby was a fantastic, first of all, a great human, great human. He was for us like more than a coach and a head coach. He was more like a dad. He always give advices to the players, advices to everyone. He kept the team together. To be honest, we have a great time with him. I think it's a shame, because we should have him probably a little bit earlier. We say all the time, if he should be arriving maybe 2-3 years earlier. I don't know what's going to happen with Newcastle in that time, because we was with him. A great period, great season, finishing the top 4, 3 years in the row. So I think he can. I mean, it's a shame what happened to him, but he was a great manager, a great person.
Yeah, he certainly was. I mean, a lot of the stories we hear about Sir Bobby were, quite funny stories about him forgetting people's names. Did he ever forget your name?
No, my name is difficult to forget. I think Nobby, or probably he called me Nope. I don't know if he missed one word or thing like that. Well, I don't know if it was in a nice way or the bad way. But no, with Bobby, always fun. We're very funny. He tried to speak in Spanish with me all the time, but his Spanish wasn't very good. He forgot. He wasn't only. He's only been in I think Barcelona only a couple of years, so it's not easy to keep the language if practice. But no, like in general, like I'm saying, Steve, you always the best thing happened to the club. The best thing happened to us as the players. He arrived and they push forward the team, put that mentality to try to win things, to be competitive. So we really, really, really enjoy with him. He's a great, funny man, very, very funny man. We like to play golf.
No, he liked it. He liked the game of golf, did Sir Bobby? Yes, and he'd be sadly missed. Thanks for that, Jason. Chris says, "Evening, Steve. Question, Nobby: would Allan Saint-Maximin have got in this team back in the 90s? Takeover failing. It felt worse than relegation. I fear for next season. No hope. I love the show. Keep it up. Thanks, Chris." So yeah, Allan Saint-Maximin. He's become a star in Newcastle over this season. He's been a shining light this season. Would he have fitted into your team, Nobby, when you were at Newcastle?
Well, the thing is now, Steve, probably football at the moment get different. It's getting evolution, we call, no? It's the players now, every team now play with three. I don't think so they play anymore with the fullback or midfielders like myself in the time, like me, Laurent Robert on the left, I'm in the right. I think now everybody changed. Now they play more with strikers. I mean, they have Joelinton sometimes. He is in the right side. Almiron on the left side. So they look more striker to me. They're not really looking for assistance. You can see him when he got the ball. He tried to beat 1, 2, 3 people. It's a hard. I think he's a great player, great skillful. He reminds me of Loa when he arrived with us. He can be great sometimes. Sometimes he's not really the best. So I think he's a good player. He's a good, skillful player. He can be people, but I mean, he has to be more consistent. Players like his ability has to be more consistent. In general, you see whole team, he hasn't been consistent, and that's why Newcastle can win 2 games in a row, can lose 4 games in a row or 3 games in a row. So. But still, I mean, I think it's all right. It's all right. I think maybe we'll play a striker. We'll play next to Alan Shearer. If we have a Laurent Robert or myself in the right side, I don't know. Or probably we'll take my place. I don't know. You never know.
No, he wouldn't do that, mate. He wouldn't do that. Andy Barr says, we had Nobby Solano sit with us on the way back to London after an Everton away game. He was an absolute gentleman, and he even got the beers in. Yeah, you've always got the beers in, Nobby. Yeah.
Yeah. We always remember we have to back long trip. You always meet people in the train. So, well, like I said to all the time, we try to be high. Me, Steve, probably. We always try to be normal after the game. We don't forget we all the same. We same person. We humans. I'm always very pleased with people because they come to watching us. They travel so far, they make so much effort. So the last thing we can do is be pleased with people.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Peter Robson says, what are your thoughts on Joelinton as a footballer? He's asking, would you have locked him in the dressing room before kickoff? What have you made of Joelinton this season, Nobby?
It's like I'm saying, Steve, it's hard to judge only one person. I think it's the team. I always say now the football is very quality. Apart from Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, all the players have to play as a team. Because if you don't play as a team, or the team system or the team tactics not helping sometimes, it will be, I tell you, if Alan Shearer maybe play in these times, if he a striker like this, it will be tough for him to score goals. So Joelinton to me, it look all right. I mean, it's hard because he's always been very, very tough for any number 9 after Alan Shearer records. It will be the judge for anyone, has to be the profile. Alan leaves that shirt too high, my friend, too high. So, but Joelinton look all right, look big, but sometimes, I don't know, I can understand playing the winger. and the left side is sometimes in the bench. So it's difficult for number 9 if you don't have that confidence to play every game and to try to score goals. It's not his fault to maybe Newcastle pay 40 million pounds, and after that it gives to him so much pressure. But to be honest, as a team, it's difficult for Newcastle any strike and the way the team play. You play with 5 defenders, with another 3 in the midfield, another 2 in the midfield. You play with 7 defenders. It's not easy for any striker to get assistant.
Yeah, good point, mate. Good point. Stephen Parker says, Nobby, if you could turn back the clock on your time as a Newcastle player, what would you change?
Well, I'm always saying now I'm talking as a coach, because I left football 7 years ago, and now we more mature and things. Probably we should be more strong defensively. We never was strong defensively. I think, but I'm not talking only about defenders. In general, as a team, we have a very good attacking team, but defensively we never work together. That's my thought when I'm watching sometime we watching games from the past, so we wasn't strong enough as a team defending. So, but apart from that, like I'm saying, we wish to probably be more strong in that part, and probably we will try to challenge to win the league or things like that, because I remember we always has a lot of problems defensively. We always remember. Every game we started the matches, we always came from behind, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1-0 already down. So, but we probably if in that time we signed it like the Manchester United, Arsenal, strong defenders, top height, very defenders we high, world class high defenders like a Manchester United in that time used to have a Stam, used to have a Rio Ferdinand, great defenders. So probably we probably if we look after a little bit more defensively, more strong, we probably will have a chance to challenge any titles.
Great answer. David Harrison says, it's often said that the fans are 12th man. How much influence did the crowd have on you? He also says it was fantastic watching you. I wish you were playing now. So how important are the fans, Nobby?
No, it's like I'm saying to you, it's part of the game. I believe you asking any player, it will be, when you go to special, I'm talking about myself, when I was really enjoy so much, like I said before, and drive my car from home, from Joelinton to St. James Park, and drive all Osborne Road before to get into the stadium, all the pubs, you see the atmosphere and say, I was driving and say, fucking hell, look at that, people really enjoy themselves. They're looking forward to see the team, how we want to play. So that was like an extra. It's a put you and yourself extra vitamin or extra, to try to do well, to try to play good football, to try to show what you can do. So I was really, really exciting. With fans, really, really exciting to be there. It's a shame now. I believe no one player will like to not play with fans, because they give you leave. Fans always, personal, always have feeling they give it to you leave. They wake you up. If you're a little bit slow or you're too slow in the pitch, things like that, fans always put you a little bit extra energy.
Yeah, good point, mate. Chris Cooper says, hi, Steve. I'm still gutted. Do you think it can be resolved? Obviously talking about the takeover. Look, I'm not going to give anybody false hope. I think we all know what the situation is now. Essentially, Mike Ashley it's in his hands. He does want to sell Newcastle United, and from our perspective, that's got to be a good thing. We didn't know that before January that he wanted to sell the club. There was always a lot of doubt over that particular issue. Now we know he does want to sell. We have to hope now that he puts pressure on the Premier League. But I also think it's very important that the supporters continue to do what they're doing, which is sign the petition, which is out there now. I think it's over 35,000 signatures towards the Premier League, and to write to the Premier League. I think sending emails is important, but I also think physically writing letters to the Premier League, directing them to Richard Masters, writing civil letters, polite letters, just expressing that you want the takeover to go through and you want the Saudi takeover to go through, because you know, that kind of volume of letters hitting the Premier League, I think, will make an effect. But look, it's up to Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley does want to sell. He won't be very happy that this money isn't forthcoming. And, you know, I think that's a massive positive. So can it be resurrected? It can be, but it's now up to Mike Ashley. And I don't think Saudi will walk away completely. And I think it will be very easy, as Amanda Stabley has said, to resurrect it. She's very keen on getting the deal done, as you can imagine, because, you know, they've all put a lot of money into this, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. So we will see how that progresses. You always get asked this question, Nobby. I've got to ask, is the trumpet handy? You've given in the trumpet, Nobby, haven't you?
Well, I haven't played, my friend, the trumpet for a while. You know, I'm doing different things, so I'm being very lazy, to be honest, very, very lazy. But I'm enjoying to still watching. I love music so much. I like the instruments, always the trumpet, always my favorite instrument. So sometimes I give a little bit up, but to be honest, it's like in my legs now. Can't run anymore.
Well, Martin was asking if your right leg is still like a magic wand, but you've said there, you know, you came and played in the Pavel Cup. You were still good there, Nobby. You can still do a bit.
Well, like people say, your touch or your technique never will go. The only go with the energy, the pace, everything like that. But the knowledge is still on. Yeah, always play with friends, like a five-a-side, things like that. So, and really, really still enjoy, still put the ball in the head of my friends because they're lazy, can't move anymore. So I had to be more expert because they can move. So I had to give it straight into the bloody head or the feet.
Yeah. Mark says, Nobby, have you ever been close to coming back to Newcastle as a coach? And would you come back if you were given the chance? And then he says, one of my favourite Nobby goals was against 1860 Munich, running from the halfway line.
Of course, always go ambition, go dreams. At the moment, working in the national team as assistant coach with Peru. I'm building my career as a coach, learning a lot. I get experience. I hope so one day in the future, you know, you imagine get the opportunity to back into the club, I will be over the moon because first of all, I'm always getting involved in Newcastle. My family is from Newcastle. I got friends in Newcastle, so it's a big more reason, especially for the club. I never got the opportunity to win anything, any trophy. Will be a revenge, will be for myself if I go one day the opportunity to coaching and to try to win something. But at the moment, it's no opportunity. So I'm still working in the national team, of course. So we'll see what happens in the future. Or will be, to be honest, was any player to back into the club will be fantastic.
Don't forget, guys, hit the like button and hit the share button for this Nobby Solano interview. We've got another half an hour left. So if you've got any questions, get them in. Don't forget as well, if you're the first time visitor to the channel, please subscribe as well. Chris Cooper said, I used to see Nobby drinking on Gosforth High Street. He's a top bloke. Yeah. We've had a sad bit of news, haven't we, as well? The pub you used to go into, Nobby, the manager passed away, didn't he? He was a good lad.
Yeah. I mean, really, I'm like it to because in that period when I stopped playing football, I used to go over to this pub to watching the Newcastle games, sometime like that, and getting with the people very, very. And he was very good man. A great man, great hostess, you know, he always give you good attention. Very shame what happened to him. So God bless him, Mr. Mike Ashley. So, but yeah, I know Chris. Probably I see him before. I hope so he's well and his family, everybody be safe.
Yeah. And that was the name of the guy at the pub. He had a bit of publicity over the years because when you have a name like Mike Ashley in Newcastle, he did see the funny side, didn't he? He's a great guy, and yeah, we hope everything's okay with his family. Nige says hundreds die of heat exhaustion at Qatar building stadiums. Their reward is Premier rights, getting one over the Saudis. Yeah, it's harsh. It's a harsh situation, this takeover, and we've ended up being drawn into all kinds of political nightmares. And so a lot of stuff that a lot of Newcastle fans don't really understand and probably never will. But all we wanted was our football club taken over. And sadly, people have got their way, so it seems. Kent Hammers says, Stephen Nobby, I'd like to thank Nobby for his time at my club. I remember him scoring some very good goals at West Ham, especially the free kick away at Derby. So, yeah, he's a West Ham fan, Nobby. And, you were a great servant at a few clubs in England. We have to remember that, not just Newcastle.
Yeah, I have a nice memory, great time. I enjoy very much to play for the Hammonds. So when Sam Allardyce arrived in the club, he doesn't want me to carry on in the club, so I had to leave. So I got the opportunity to move. Some really great club, great fans. So I'm enjoying. I'm playing a lot of football. I was 32, 33, I think, when I moved over there. I thought I would get another. I was disappointed with the coach, Kevin Kersley, I think, was the manager in that time, and never got the opportunity to sign again. Only signed it for 1 year. That's why I moved to Greece from West Ham. After West Ham, I moved to Greece, but was amazing. I have a good time. I scored a few goals. So I see them has a now new stadium. They're doing all right. It was very tough season for West Ham this year, but it's like it's the Premier League for any club. You fast asleep, you will cause to you problems. So, but West Ham, with the manager, they can get away from the situation, the relegation this year. So it's a great club, and thank you very much for him.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for that, mate. As I say, we always welcome other fans on here, so nice to have that question. Take care, mate. Aaron Kent says, who was the best player that you played with, Nobby? Doesn't have to be Newcastle. Maybe give us a Newcastle player, but also a player from your career.
Well, I was very lucky to meet Maradona, play with Maradona in his last year of his career. And unfortunately, it's not the same when he was only 25 years old. I catch him when he was 36, 37 years old. He's one of the best footballers in the world. And the other one, I was very pleased when he started playing football as a professional, was Roman Riquelme. He used to play for Barcelona. He's a legend in Boca Juniors. He was a great player. Of course, in England, Alan Shearer was one of the best strikers. I can give my service to him.
Yeah, I mean, great player, Alan Shearer. Will always be grateful of being able to watch him. Jason Carter says, Nobby, if you could take Joelinton into a corner and give him some advice, what would you say to him?
Well, it's difficult to speak when you're outside when thing happens. But I believe they have a good coaches in Newcastle. Stephen Bruce got a lot of experience. They only need to be like a striker. A striker need to be in the box. But like I'm saying, sometimes when I've been watching the matches, his boy, he do more like a get out from the box. He dropped too deeper to get the ball to try to play. And like I would say to him, come on, stay there. I'm waiting for everyone to try to supply you. So it's like happened to Alan. Alan, we knew Alan always try to be higher to the pitch because it's the only way he can score goals, is to be in the box.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great advice. Maybe you should get along and give him some of that, and hopefully would manage to better his total of 2 goals this season. James Carter says, Nobby, which English team, except for Newcastle, do you follow?
I'm watching in general, Steve. I'm watching all the Premier League. I'm watching all the games. Not only when Newcastle played. Here, a few years ago, we used to put on all the English games. In the same time, you can option to choose any channel. Now ESPN changed. Now they bought the transmissions, and after the cup, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, they're now watching less Newcastle. Sometimes Newcastle, but in general, I follow all the team. I like Manchester City to watch. Guardiola is a great manager. I was this season not because they won the league, but I was very big fan of Klopp. He's a great manager. You can tell how Wijnaldum used to play in Newcastle. You see that Wijnaldum used to play in Newcastle and now play for Liverpool. You can tell as a team, this guy is a machine. He's a machine. So that's to me the key. If you get the team together, you get out of the best of the players. So Winaldo, as you can see, James Milner. You see, nobody knew about Mane before he moved to Southampton, or Salah came from Roma back to English. I think Klopp and Liverpool to me is one of the best team and the best manager, no, to follow.
Yeah. Dave Smith says, what was your favourite goal for Newcastle? He says, outside of the right foot against Everton or the overhead kick for Villa?
Yes, that's the one. Because always say, I always strike that way because without side my foot, because I have no left foot.
Yeah.
My left foot was very bad. So I always use my right foot to cross, to kick the ball. So in that time when I saw the gap in there, I say, oh, I will use outside my boots again.
Mike Stewart says, realistically, what do you think we're looking at next season with a tiny budget and a demoralised squad? Surely survival will be a huge success. I mean, a lot of people fearing the worst next season. They were fearing the worst this season with Steve Bruce in charge, I've got to be honest. But next season with an owner now who certainly doesn't want to be there, and probably a lack of money being given to Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce's tactics haven't gone down well with the majority of supporters, although he does have a few fans out there. What do you think realistically Newcastle will be looking at next season, Nobby?
Well, it's difficult to judge because you never know. Football always is really look at Steven Bruce. You got Rafa Benitez, give you a lot of hopes to the team. You thought, you will finish probably in the top 10, top 8, but it was difficult for Rafa. Steven Bruce doing so well, soon arrived to the team, to the club. I think, to be fair, he do a great job. He can do whatever he can do it with the players he has, because I don't think so. Ni Rafa or any manager in the past got the option to get players, players to challenge or to try to reach in the top six to get international competitions. But will be tough. I believe will be really, really tough. Will be difficult. I think if you finish like it do, I think Newcastle, Steve Bruce get the points in the right moment, because he will be really, really in trouble, because you see this season how tight was for Aston Villa, all of them fighting in there for the relegation. So, fingers crossed. I see what happened, because to be honest, with this owner, we never know. We never know what's going to happen with Newcastle, because doesn't speak to anyone. You don't know, and the public side don't come out. I remember Freddie Shepherd always come out to say things for the club. But this guy, I never heard anything about.
Yeah, no, he doesn't say a great deal. That's, to be fair, to the supporters at all. And, nothing all the way through the takeover attempt, which is fair enough. But then just a couple of line statement, from Lee Charnley, which, basically just said never say never, and that they want the takeover to go through. So it was quite strange. Mark says, Nobby, thanks for the cuts and bruises while I was celebrating your winner at Leeds away. What a game. That summed Newcastle United up. Yeah, great game that. It was I know that's probably another one of your favourite moments in a black and white shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It was a great, apart from them score the winning goal, was because if we beat Leeds, we knew we want to finish in the top 4 to get a chance to play off to the Champions League. So it was great atmosphere, great time, great game, 4-3, we start to 3-1 behind. So the reaction, the team was fantastic. I remember that was amazing. Always against Leeds, it's a great game. I was very lucky to score all the time against them. But we against Leeds always, and we pleased. I think the fans will be pleased to see Leeds again into the Premier League.
Yeah, just an update on the FA Cup final. Chelsea are winning 1-0. Pulisic has scored after 6 minutes. He basically got an assist from Mount and banged the goal in. So yeah, Chelsea 1-0 up against Arsenal. And Gary says Nobby was a legend. He didn't get credit. He deserved what wonderful player he was to watch. Mark says, Nobby, what was the feeling like when you were offered the chance to come home to Newcastle for a second time?
Yeah, of course. I I was very pleased. I was talking all the like I'm saying all the time, many times when I did these interviews, I say I never want to leave the club. And unfortunately, Bobby Robson didn't treat him that well in that season. So that's why I had to make my decision to play football. I love so much football because I know when you retire, I know how much I miss football. So, but I really, really enjoy. And but I never want to. When I was hearing Alan was bringing me, Stevie Harper was telling me, Graham Souness want to me back. I was so pleased to when I got the opportunity and left Aston Villa and come back to the club.
Yeah, great. I remember that. I was there that day that Michael Owen signed, and everyone was singing your name. It was quite an amazing experience. Jason says, Nobby, do you still have your Newcastle shirts from when you played? Did you keep any shirts, Nobby? I'm sure you must have. We've just got a technical hitch there. Nobby seems to have gone. You must have got a phone call, Nobby.
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
The thing.
Do you keep any of your shirts from when you played at Newcastle?
Yeah, of course, always to show my kids. My kids now enjoy with my shirt. They put it on. It's too big. They said it's like I said, Dad, how big you was in that time. I know big is that's only the model they make in that time. So big, the shirts, everything like that. It's too huge. Now you see it looks so thin, and with us it looks massive. But yes, I'm saving for them.
Darryl says, Nobby, what would you do if you were the man in charge to keep us up? Do you see any way that there could be a new lineup for next season? So he's saying if you were manager next season, what would you do to change the team?
I think it's like I said, the team has to show something. It looks sometimes Newcastle is very comfortable the way they play. They sit back, waiting for the other team get the ball, get possession, and after from there they're expecting to nick a goal or something like that, to use the counter-attack. So I think Newcastle need to be more positive. I think in the way they need to go more forward, personal. When you play sometimes with 5 in the back, you look too defensively because at the end of the day, you go 5 people plus 2 in the middle. But like I'm saying, you have to be there. I don't know. With all respect, Steve Bruce now in charge. He's gone for sure. I'm more experienced than myself, but what I can see, the team need to go more forward. They're expecting they give the possession the ball to the teams too much. They drop too deep, and from there waiting what happens. So it's hard from there, get results. You need to be more positive to go forward.
Jason's asking us what happened to Lee Clark today. He's back on tomorrow because obviously non-league football is restarting. So friendlies are happening now and training's back on in the non-league over here. So Lee Clark is obviously now involved with Newcastle Blue Stars. So that is where Lee is today. But he's on 11 o'clock in the morning. And then tomorrow we've got Michael Chopra on at 5 o'clock. Dunhill says, Nobby, which of the Newcastle managers that you played under had the biggest influence on you as a player? My favourite Nobby goal was versus Everton in 2006. So, which was your favourite manager?
Well, I would say, like I said before, we've been quite long together with Bobby Robson. Bobby was a guy doing so well with us. We played so well with him. So I think Bobby was a guy, Bobby Robson.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Jason says, Nobby, where would you fit into the current Newcastle team and where would you want to play for them?
Where, say again? Sorry, Steve.
Where would you fit in to the current Newcastle team and where would you want to play for them? Having a few technical issues there. Nobby?
I wasn't hearing so well. Sorry, mate. The question is there, no?
It's on the screen, yeah. Yes. Where would you fit into the current...
Sorry.
Where would you fit into the current Newcastle team and would you want to play for them? Yeah, I think Nobby, I think you're getting a few phone calls and messages. Can you hear yet, Nobby? We've lost your sound now, Nobby. Have to bear with us, guys. Nobby's having a few technical issues. I think what happens is when you use your phone, sometimes it ends up. Yeah, back again, Nobby. Are you getting a few phone calls?
Back on tomorrow because obviously non-league football is restarting, so friendlies are happening now. We're training back on the non-league over here, so the league club is obviously.
Can you hear us, Nobby? Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, Nobby. We can't hear you. I'll take you off and bring you back on. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. Sometimes it's technical. No, Nobby, you're obviously replaying the show. Going to get somebody to sort things out, guys. Unfortunately, anyone's got any questions for me, I'll remove Nobby until he comes back. Absolute nightmare from our perspective. There's not much you can do with that. I think he's had a few. I think he's had a few phone calls, and it's finally knocked everything off. Nobby buy a webcam, says Jason Carter. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare when you use your phone, unfortunately. And a lot of the players as well aren't great with technology. So he might end up getting somebody else on. Let's see whether he's sorted it out. He's reappeared again. Oh, he's back, but the sound's back. Steve, have you had a good day? And who do you feel we can realistically say? Gary, I've had a great day because I've been down to Dunstan today for the Dunstan presentation, which has been a good day. So from our perspective, yeah, I've had a good day. Who do I think we can realistically sign? I think it'll be free transfers, mate. I think that's what we're looking at. Ryan Fraser is obviously one of the names that's been mentioned at Bournemouth, and potentially that could be the next signing. You know. Hi, Nobby. Can you hear us now? Nobby, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Can you hear us, Nobby? No. Your sound's gone off, mate, unfortunately. So I think we might have to draw this to a premature end, which is a bit of a pity. But you've got no sound, Nobby, I'm afraid. If you bear with us, guys, we will try to get Nobby back before the end of the show. Got about 10 minutes left. Hi, Nobby. I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Nobby, can you hear me? I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Hijo, ¿cómo has venido? ¿Quién te recogió? ¿Quién te recogió? ¿En el carro? Ni había escuchado.
No, I don't think we're going to get you back, Nobby, unfortunately. It sounds as if you just can't hear us.
En vivo esto. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah,
But
I can hear you.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hear you.
I don't know. I'll take my AirPods out and see whether that helps. Not sure whether that will help. Can you hear me yet? Yeah, we will do, Jason. Thanks for that, mate. We will take our time. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we'll be able to get it back. Mike Ashley should buy Nobby a webcam with 17 million. He's just pocketed. Now, as all good dads have, they've got a daughter who is trying to fix things. Nobby's daughter is very technically minded, so hopefully she will be able to through a few of these questions. As I say, anyway, tomorrow we do have Lee Clark on in the morning at 11 o'clock, and then we've got Michael Shopper on at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So 2 shows tomorrow, both live. If anybody has any questions, get them in tomorrow. But just want to say thanks as well for everybody joining the show. Some great feedback. A lot of people saying they really enjoyed the shows, which is great. Very nice of you to say that, and thanks for sharing it. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Hi, Nobby, can you hear me now? Can you hear us yet?
Steve.
Yes, I can hear
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sorry, I don't know what's happening in my phone because I cannot hear what you say.
No problem. We'll call it a day.
Please.
We'll just say we'll call it a day. No problem.
Please say to the fans. I'm sorry, apologize.
No problem. We'll get you on again. Okay, Nobby, thanks for joining us. Take care, mate.
Sorry, my friend. The technology. Remember, we're too far away. You're in Newcastle, I'm here in Lima. Wait.
No problem, mate. Bye-bye. Take care. Take care. Sorry to lose Nobby Solano, guys. We did try our best. Not the best viewing. Obviously, sitting watching me and Nobby try to get technology sorted when we're both not the greatest with it. Yeah, exactly. Lee says gremlins in the system. But listen, I hope you've enjoyed it. Stephen Parker says, any feedback on the petition from any of the buyers? People are happy that it's happening, mate. At the end of the day, you know, they need to see the fans reacting, and the fans are reacting, which is great. So, yeah, I just think we need to get that to a, you know, to the target, which I think is 100,000. But fair play for everybody for signing it, and you know, let's just hope that it makes a difference. But I'm going to get an early finish. I'm going to go and watch a little bit of the FA Cup final. But listen, thanks for joining us, guys. Please give it a like before you finish. Give it a share. We'll see you 11 o'clock. Enjoy your evening. Good night.